I know who John Cena's very last WWE opponent is. You're not gonna like it. Yeah. No. Okay, let's start this all correctly. Number one, I don't have the mic this time because listen, I'm trying to get this one to work. I'm hoping, look at me, I tested it 4 times, and it worked fine. It should work now. But let's get this video started the way it should be started. John Cena is the GOAT, literally the guy. He was the guy for me as a child, and eventually I turned on him. But I mean, you blame me? Eventually, I did start to dislike the John Cena. But as I've aged, I'm gonna miss this guy. He gave us so many good moments, a lot of bad moments, but so many good moments. He was an era of wrestling, and I think I know how he could possibly end it. Listen, I made the joke on Twitter. I said I had the script, and I said what I said. But the thing is, that joke kept playing in my head, and I kept making up better and better reasonings for it to happen. So I thought, why not make a ranting video where I get to use the green screen again? I get to have the man bun again. And also, I get to do what I've been wanting to do since I started this channel, and that's fantasy book something. I love fantasy booking. I think it's a fun way to get creative with like tools that you don't have to necessarily make up all the tools. And also wrestling is just so like campy and stupid sometimes. You can make whatever story you want, and it can be a lot of fun. But this time, I'm gonna fantasy book John Cena's retirement match just in case WWE ruins it. So let's get it started. There are two things that I need to kind of talk about because this is kind of being rumored online. There's no like official thing or anything. One, people think that John Cena might be going for the IC title. That's the one title he doesn't have to make himself a Grand Slam champion. And two, there are people that want him to, of course, hit the 17, get the next title, so that way he can break the record overall. I'm not sure if I want that, and I'm not going to lie to you. I could be making this up. I feel like he did an interview where he said he didn't want to break the record. Could be making that up. Could just be pulling that out of somewhere. I don't know. But if WWE wanted to, it could be like a Sting thing. They're like, hey, bro, listen, you're going to do it. And you're going to do it right now. So it could, I don't know. I personally wouldn't do it, but you never know with WWE. So the scenario I want to start off with would be literally his very last match. He has dates from January to December of next year, meaning he's not retiring at WrestleMania, which is kind of a shame, just a little bit. I feel like they should like have him do one last like tour all the way from 41 to 42 and 42 be the last one. I guess it's not what he wants to do. I'm not back there. I don't got the pen, and I can't tell John Cena what to do. So I mean, here we go. So basically, what I'm going to have this little block be is basically, I don't know what is a December pay per view, because I know they do Survivor Series in November. Let's just say it's Survivor Series in December for whatever reason. Why would they do it? I don't fudging know, but I can't remember what's after Survivor Series because I don't want to look it up. So let's just say it's Survivor Series. For the build of Survivor Series, I would do this. You have John Cena come out. He's in his game. He's like, hey guys, listen, I've got one last time, one last run at this. I want to make it a good one. I don't know who's going to get set up before this because, like I said, he's got 40 dates set up. He might be at each PLE next year. We don't know. So you could hint at whoever's left. It could be like hinting at putting Mello over, or maybe even talk about LA Knight if they don't ever do that match, which they might not because it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. So Cena comes out, he hints around a lot. He's on Raw again. Yeah, it's Raw. And then it all just goes black. The Fireflies come out, and you have the iconic Shatter piano note going for a few seconds, and Bo Dallas walks onto the stage. I know a lot of people are not going to like that, and they probably already clicked off. Goodbye. I want to do this and have fun with this because a lot of people are going to be like, the Wyatt Six, whatever. I know now a lot of people like the spooky stuff. I love the spooky stuff, and I want to do this because it's for me, and I feel like it, right? We don't know how the wrestling's going to go out. We don't know how these characters are going to wrestle. We don't know if they're just going to like be intimidating in their gear and then, take off all the giant masks and stuff to wrestle. I'm kind of going under that hypothetical that Uncle Howdy won't be wrestling, but Bo Dallas as the catalyst for Uncle Howdy will be wrestling. I think I can only speculate. So going under that idea that Bo Dallas wrestles, Uncle Howdy talks, let's do that. Bo Dallas walks to the ring and he's just, John, I'm out here because I just want to talk. That's all I want to do. I know everybody's so scared that I'm going to beat up the infamous, the iconic, the GOAT, John Cena. But the thing is, John, I only hurt to heal people. For every hurt, there is healing. And I'm not here to hurt you, John. This is not what I'm meant to do. At that point, Bo Dallas jumps up on the canvas, and then the other 3 male members jump up on each side of the ring surrounding John. John, of course, being John Cena, stops himself and gets himself ready for a fight. And Bo doesn't take it very well. Looks at it and goes, John, I told you I just want to talk. Do you not listen to me when I speak? I'm actively talking directly to you. You should listen to me. Maybe I am here to hurt you, John. Maybe that's what I am here to do. Maybe we together should, as a family, hurt you so you can heal. And that's what happens. They jump John. He gets beat up. We won't. It doesn't gotta be too gruesome, but it could just just like some slammage, some bodies, some. Oh man, that's John Cena. He shouldn't be taking these crazy bumps like this level stuff. You wheel him out, and then you end the segment. The week after the attack, you have Bo Dallas come out, and he talks directly to the camera, to the audience, to John. You can have it in ring, you can have it in the back. Depends on what you want to do. Whatever can make it feel the most mystic. And he talks to the camera and says, John, I genuinely did not come out there last week to hurt you. But a long time ago, you hurt somebody very close to me. Now, whether or not the healing from that ever happened is up to debate, but I never got that opportunity. I never got to fight the GOAT John Cena. I never got the opportunity to see what you're really made of. So, you have one last match left, and I want to be that match. You do a little spooky nonsense, you do a little the jump scare that they do, and boom, you've got Bo Dallas's intentions. He wants to fight John Cena for one reason only. That WrestleMania 30 loss that Bray took, but also the WrestleMania match that Bo never actually got. Because when you look at the timelines of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, they're so different. While Bo was jobbing out, Bray was actively making an iconic character that would cement itself in wrestling forever. And unfortunately, Bo, who wanted to be by his brother's side the entire time, never got that real opportunity. So that's his motivation. You cut to the week after, and John Cena, of course, he's fine. He's here. He's gonna rile up the crowd. He goes, you know what? I won't discuss what happened at WrestleMania 30. What happened at 30 is in the past, and this is the present, and we need to figure out right now. And if Bo Dallas wants his opportunity to fight the greatest of all time right before he retires, well, then who am I to take that away from him? And cut to very spooky music. You got the piano again. You gotta get the dung, dung, dung. It's so good. God, it immerses me every time. Bo Dallas comes out and actually finally confronts John face to face. This time, no family at all, no Wyatt Six. And John just looks up and says, you know me. I told him a very long time ago, I never give up, and I still never give up. And Bo Dallas just smiles. He's happy. He shakes John's hand and leaves. After that, you just get a bunch of spooky, like, you get a bunch of interviews where Bo talks about, the match at WrestleMania 30, because this group seems like they're not going to let the Bray Wyatt idea die, which is perfect for me. I love that idea. And this does run the risk of just being too Bray Wyatt-y, considering, the untimely passing. So I get that criticism here, and I'll start off that narrative myself, but just stick with me, because not all of them have to be like this. You can get in-ring segments of John Cena just constantly just doing what he always does. Hype up the crowd again, get spooked out, and then not necessarily leave, but almost be allowed to leave. Almost like the music, the lights cutting out, just like, remember that you're fighting me. Don't forget that it's me and you 1v1 at Survivor Series, I guess. I'm still sticking with that, I guess. You guys ever heard the expression that a second attempt will always yield perfect results? Well, you, my good friend, are a liar. I just made it up. But yeah, I have to re-record this now because apparently my last one didn't have audio. And if this one doesn't have audio, pissed. So a small TLDR. The match was accepted. Bo Dallas said, let's do this match. John Cena said yes. He said he never gives up. Whatever. Okay. And after the match has been accepted, you're gonna get like a video package out of Bo where he's like, Cena, listen, I want you at 100%. And since you don't plan to wrestle until you fight me at Survivor Series, I will assure you that you will get to Survivor Series at 100%, because the only people that can hurt you is the family, and we've all agreed to leave you alone until Survivor Series. You get a little jump scare, and then Justy's like, yeah, okay, I guess. And then every week it'll come out, hey guys, I'm here, lights turn out, or the dry ice starts, and then they just, they nothing ever really comes of it. He doesn't get jumped. Maybe this sick stand up in the rafters, just staring at it. It's always going to be something spooky, but never anything, action-y wise. It's all just going to be just some mind games to get to see this head before the pay-per-view. On the go home show, John Cena calls out Bo Dallas, saying that he wants to see his opponent face to face. No spooky stuff, no nonsense, no dry ice, no lights shutting off. Just come out here and let's talk face to face before the pay per view. Bo Dallas comes out, they have a face to face, and John Cena gives a riveting speech about how he's never going to give up. He said it all those years ago, and he still means it. He hits him with a meaty, fine speech. Bo would continue to go on and say that at Survivor Series, he is going to hurt John one more time, but this time, the healing that comes from that will not be for him. It will not be for the family, but he will hurt John. And it is going to be in a Firefly Funhouse match. Pause right there. I know, because listen, I know he's already been in a Firefly Funhouse match, and he lost. He got erased from WWE for a few years. I don't like use of the Firefly Funhouse for this match. I personally would rename it. I'd call it like the Uncle Howdy Rock and Rowdy street fight match. Something different, right? Of course not that. That's not spooky enough. But you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to say, the same way I'm saying Survivor Series for whatever the December pay-per-view is, I'm going to say Firefly Funhouse, but in reality, I kind of just mean spooky street fight type thing. Because like I said, I don't want them to use that unless, they might plan to do that. I don't think they should unless they plan to go, what the Firefly Funhouse was, which was that big cinematic match. So I'm just gonna say it now, but for the dramatics, for the cinema of it all. But technically, it's just a street fight. This is gonna be an actual in-ring match. No dissection of John Cena's character, which just straight up a singles street fight type match where they're going to butt heads and hurt each other. So at Survivor Series, or whatever the hell it's going to be, Bo and Cena have just a normal, regular street fight match. Some kendo sticks, some tables get set up, nothing too crazy. But at one point, Bo goes outside of the ring, grabs his steel chair, looks at it, and throws it in the ring. In that moment, Bo slides it and goes into the ring, but Cena grabs it before Bo has the chance to get up. But Bo never intended to use it. Bo, in the slide, this is going to be a timing thing, it's going to be great. As Cena grabs it and lifts it, puts his arms out just like at WrestleMania 30 and tells him, John, hit me. It's going to be a perfect mirroring of that moment. And this time, John looks at the chair, looks at the people who are all chanting yes, and swings. But Bo ducks. Yeah, he's going to get a little dark here. And Cena, in a fit of, oh, wait, hold on, I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just, stuck to the code, brother. He slides out of the ring towards the ramp, and he looks up, and there's just Uncle Howdy on the screen laughing. All the lights turned down. It's very dark. There's like a singular spotlight on John and a singular spotlight on Mercy, the buzzard. As he stands there, John walks to him, and he's holding the original Bray Wyatt hat. That's it. He's just holding it. No words exchanged, nothing. As Mercy points, and another spotlight turns on. On the other side of the other corner of the ring is Eric Rowan holding his Bludgeon Brothers hammer. But around the handle of the hammer is the iconic Hawaiian shirts typically worn by, well, you guessed it, Bray Wyatt. But Eric Rowan says nothing to John either. He just gives him a slight nod, tilts his head to tell him that he needs to go to his left, or I guess his right, whatever, and he continues to walk. John walks up, and Huskers the Pig Boy is holding a WWE championship. But not just any WWE championship. Huskers is holding the spinner belt. And this is where the first set of dialogue not from Bo Dallas, from the Wyatt Six happens. And he goes on to say, you couldn't just be satisfied with being the face of the company, could you, John? Everywhere. You were the hero to children everywhere. But even that wasn't enough for you, was it? It was to the point that you had to deface the most prized championship in our industry. You had to let them know that every time this championship was on screen, that you were always somewhere in the background, weren't you, John? You could never be satisfied knowing that no matter how many times you got hurt, you would come back and always come back to this. You had to make it look like a toy to be sold to children. But that's in the past now, John. But we're in the present. Huskers then motions towards the left, so he gets to his very last person he needs to talk to. It's Abby the Witch, who's holding the original Never Give Up towel. And this one, John gets to take with him. He gets to take it in his hands, walks back towards the ramp, and looks back at the Tron where Uncle Howdy is no longer laughing, no longer smiling. And John turns around to Bo Dallas, staring. No smile, no anger. He's just looking to see John's decision. As John slides into the ring, arms open, and Bo grabs him for a Sister Abigail. Now, I don't know if Bo Dallas is going to use Sister Abigail. Depending on what they do, it could be, if he never uses it, this will get a huge pop out of people, especially people like me. If he does use it, well, then I guess it's just a good setup for a finisher. Regardless, he gets into the Sister Abigail. He looks at the camera, looks back at John, says, "Thank you, John," kisses him. Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3. Bo Dallas wins. Now, this is earlier when I was talking about, like, does John go for the IC title? Does he go for another world title? Like, I think no matter what, if they do give him a championship in his run, he probably won't have it on his very last match. So, like, if he does, and it's the IC title, you could put the IC title on Bo Dallas for this. It's a spooky group. They're really strong. You could have that be a mid-card, like, everybody's trying to get the belt off of Bo Dallas because he's already a scary dude with a scary group. He shouldn't be having this title because, who's going to take it off him? Whatever, it could be a possibility. In this scenario that I've planned out, I've no titles. So even if he does take something like the IC title or the 17th WWE title, completely erasing the idea that, like, he'll have it during this match. I think he'd lose it, like, probably the pay-per-view after. I don't think they'd have him do, like, a full run for a year with any title, let alone, the top prize in the industry that's already wrapped up in storylines, or the IC title, which they've done a pretty good job at making okay. That's not how it ends. As Bo Dallas sits next to John, John's trying to, like, pull himself up. He just been through a match. He's kind of hurting. Bo grabs the mic and he sits there and he talks to it. He says, "John, I told you that the hurt that I give you today was going to heal. And I also told you that it wasn't for me. But it wasn't for him either. He never blamed you. He never hated you. He just smiled through everything and kept working. This hurt wasn't to heal us. It was to heal them." Bo grabs Mike, places it next to Cena, rolls out, and the White Six all get the spook out of here. And John gets in the ring for a final moment where he could either, give a speech, depending on, what he wants to do, or does what I assume he's going to do, which is take off the shoes, leave him in the ring, and walk out on, not necessarily on top because he just lost the match, but on top because he's beloved by literally every single person in the arena. So what started as a one-time joke for Twitter ended up like this video. Now listen, I know a lot of people aren't going to like the spooky stuff. They're not going to like me bringing up the WrestleMania 30 match again, even though I feel like it's brought up a lot more than it should be, considering. And I know a lot of people, like, pinpoint this as, like, the first real big, oh, Bray should have went over here or whatever. So, like, I can understand digging this up for just technically monetary reasons, which is like, oh, you guys want to see John Cena's last match? Let's bring up this dead guy's account. That's not really, like, I don't want it to be like that, but I feel like it's a great narrative to use considering what the White Six seems to be doing, which is, keeping the legacy alive. So I like this. I really do. Do I think this is going to happen? Any of this, which I don't know what I'm pointing at because I probably just have a picture of somebody out here. No, not even a little bit. Honestly, I think odds are you're going to get a traditional, regular WWE style match between John Cena and a former rival or a friend or anything. You never know. It could be Cody Rhodes. He could want to put over Cody Rhodes in his very last match. I don't flipping know. All I know is, holy shit, it's crazy that John Cena is retiring. It doesn't seem real. Like, he's not on TV week to week, but it's such a weird thing to hear somebody that you grew up watching. I saw his debut back at SmackDown. What was he, the Prototype? That shit was lame. I think I already said bittersweet, but it's so bittersweet to see him go. He is definitely, without a doubt, my GOAT in pro wrestling. I don't think there's even slightly of a debate for that. But all I want to say is, thank you, John. It was a very, very interesting road to go down. And yeah, I don't know how to end these videos ever. So in the comments, tell me what you want. Tell me who you think John Cena's final opponent should be. Because honestly, it could be anybody. It could go from putting over the young talent to rekindling that rivalry one last time. Regardless, it was a lot of fun to do. I like this, and I like getting it. Like, I like coming up with the concept and actually making a video on it. Isn't it fun, guys? I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, hit the subscribe button, some more like it. That like button, tell me you enjoyed it, and I will see ya when I freaking see ya.